how to make chocolate chip cookies. As you can see, I have all my ingredients already laid out on the table for me. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to turn your oven on and preheat it at a temperature of 350 degrees. So first I have the dry ingredients which I've separated. This is 2 cups flour, 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Over here we have our sugar. This is 3/4 cup brown sugar and then a 1/4 cup white sugar. I've got 2 cups of butter, room temperature, 1 egg, and then 1.5 teaspoons vanilla, and then of course the main event, a 1.5 cups of chocolate chips. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to combine my butter and my sugar in my mixer, and I'm just going to let it mix for a while until it's nice and creamy. Okay, so I've got the butter. Now I'm adding the sugar. And I'm just going to put on my paddle attachment. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and let this mix until it's creamy. Make sure all the butter gets off of the paddle and gets thoroughly blended in and creamy with that sugar. Nice and smooth. Okay, so now we can see that the sugar and butter is nice and creamy, blended together really well. So we're gonna go ahead and add our egg. Okay, and now we can see that the egg is really well blended into the batter as well. And we're gonna go ahead and add in our last wet ingredient, which is that 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. Okay, now that all of our ingredients are mixed together and our dough is nice and smooth, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add in our dry ingredients. We're going to add those in just a little bit at a time until well blended and it's all mixed in. All right, so we've got the last little bit. Our main ingredient, which is the chocolate chips. So I'm going to add those in. I'm just going to stir them in with my spatula, which is the easiest way because otherwise if you blend it, it just gets really clunky. Sometimes it breaks the chips apart, so we'll just do this by hand. Okay, so now your dough is made. The next thing that we need to do is we need to scoop out the dough into little balls and put them on your cookie trays. So I have sprayed my cookie trays with non-stick spray. You may or may not need to do that depending on what kind of pans that you have. scooping them on our cookie sheet, so I'm going to go ahead and put them in our already preheated oven. So the cookies are done, and you can tell because they have a nice brown top to them, but they're not overdone. The oven, you're going to let them cool for a little bit. I prefer to let mine cool only for a little bit and then eat them when they're nice and warm, so they're nice and fresh and gooey and they just melt in your mouth. But of course they're also delicious once they've cooled completely. This recipe especially makes a softer cookie, so no matter whether you eat them 5 minutes out of the oven or 2 days after, they're still going to be soft and delicious. So that's it. Enjoy your cookies. I know I will.